Good evening, everyone. It's 6:30 on Thursday, February 8th, 2024, and this is the reorganization meeting of the Plymouth Township Civil Service Commission for 2024. My name is Scott Badami. I'm the solicitor for this commission. We'd like to start, if everybody could please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all very much. As we get started this evening, if we could quickly do an attendance for the record.
Mabry's present.
Lukens is present.
Chris Olzik present.
Dr. Jones, do you want to identify yourself on the phone?
Yes, Paulette Jones present.
Perfect. Thank you very much. As I mentioned, we're here to initially start with our reorganization for 2024. To begin the reorganization, I would ask, are there any nominations for chair of this commission for 2024?
If I may real quick.
Sure.
In the past, they've asked me to step out during the reorganization.
Okay.
So I don't know if that was something that was just the last.
It's a
solicitor's
public
preference.
meeting.
I'm
Yeah.
fine with having you here.
Yeah.
If you wish.
Pressure on anyone?
Nah,
We're good.
good enough. I'll remain there.
Yeah. So with that, I would ask if one of the commissioners would be willing to make a motion for chair of your commission in 2024.
I nominate Ms. Mabry to be the chairman.
There has been a nomination. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you, Commissioner Olsik. With that, let's call the question. All those in favor of Commissioner Mabry being chair of Mabry for 2024, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Madam Chair. For
Awesome.
2024, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you. Next, we need to nominate and elect a vice chair. Do we have any nominations for vice chair?
I
In the-
nominate Ms. Lukens.
All right, we have a nomination for Ms. Lukens. Do we have a second for that? I can second that. We can take a vote
Call the question.
for the nomination and election of Ms. Lukens for vice chair. All in favor, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? No opposition. Ms. Lukens has been elected vice chair for the 2024 year of the Civil Service Commission. Next on the agenda is the approval of the January 2024 minutes. Everyone got a copy of those, correct?
Yes.
Can I have a motion to accept the minutes for the January 2024 meeting?
I think they were excellent. I motion that we accept the minutes.
Ms. Lukens made a motion. Can I get a
I
second?
second it.
Okay, the motion has been seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries unanimously to accept the meeting minutes. Next up on the agenda is the update of the police department. Lieutenant O'Brien is present. Lieutenant O'Brien, your update?
Okay, a couple items to go through. First thing I want to start off with out of respect is that retired officer Robert Marinelli passed away recently and was laid to rest this past Saturday. As a department, we went there and paid our respects. There's only two officers left in the department who worked with Officer Marinelli, who retired in 1992. So he did approximately 27 years with the Plymouth Township Police Department. He did another 6 or 7, I believe, in Philadelphia Police Department before he joined us. And he was a detective upon his retirement in 1992. So out of respect for Bob and his family, I wanted to mention that here today. For some of the things going on with the police department, We are just about done a firearms transition. And why this is important is the current weapon system that we have been carrying, the SIGs, there's numerous lawsuits that they're going off, they're being discharged without the trigger being pulled. So I think common sense would arise about why we were moving away from them. We have about 3 officers left to do. We are doing a 24-hour transition course to a new weapon system. But I thought this civil service unit should know that if they are aware of the SIG problems, that we are getting away from them.
And what is the new?
We're going with an H&K VPR. It's a 9mm
For purposes
handgun.
of the minutes, could you tell me, talk about what that is, just really quick?
It's a semi-automatic handgun, 9mm. The basic structure of the weapon is very similar to what we are carrying right now, but it's a different brand, a different make, a different model. And when we first started getting word about a year ago of some public perception problems with the SIG, with them going off, it seemed like it's been growing a little bit of steam recently. And so for about the last 6 months, we've been transitioning or making arrangements to transition. But we had to get council support. It was not cheap, but we cut back in some other areas of the budget last year. So there was no additional burden on the taxpayer. We just made some other sacrifices, for lack of a better word, out of last year's budget to pay for this transition.
Are these subject to any kind of recall or anything, or is it just that?
We were able to trade ours in,
Okay.
so we got fair compensation for
Okay.
them. But at this point in time, the manufacturer isn't acknowledging there's a problem. But with that kind of liability, it would be wrong, and I think everybody's opinion, to move forward with that same weapon system. As time goes on, at least it seems to me as a non-expert, that there's more and more data supporting that there's a problem with those firearms.
And we've never had a problem with them.
Never on the street. Never on the street. There was an incident inside of our station that one will never know for a fact whether it was user error, that officer's no longer here, whether it was user error or was weapon.
Okay.
Yeah, but never on the street. And that's why we're away from them now, so there's not going to be one. Okay. This Monday at the council meeting, Officer Robinson is being recognized for 20 years of service with Plymouth Township. He's assigned to the Patrol Division, and he spent 7 years in Warrington as a police officer before Officer Robinson joined us here in Plymouth. And he's a very solid, reliable officer. He does the little things right. He's been around a long time, and when you read the reports from the night before, he's the guy who's still walking the schools during the daytime or pulling on businesses' doors at night at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's rare to have a person for 20 years who's still doing that kind of tedious grunt type work, but that's the way he's wired, and he's still doing it. It's an unusual, to be completely honest. Officer Marinello has given his notice that he's going to retire in May. I believe he has put it in writing with the township. Plus, he's been nothing but honest with us over the last year and keeping us updated on what his intentions are. So, with his retirement, once it runs its course through the township manager and that side of the building, we will be coming to the Civil Service Commission and asking for permission to to hire off the current active list. The next person up her name is Megan, and you'll have to wine check, and you'll have to excuse me for probably butchering that last name. But she's 33 years old. She has a medical background. She is both a 4-year and a master's degree in nursing and nursing instruction. She also ran with paramedics, and she's actually a college professor right now, teaching nursing. And I think I've told this board before that she may have had the single best interview that I remember having, and I've been doing the interviews for almost 20 years. She may have gotten, and I don't have it in front of me, but she really impressed us during the oral interview. And under our rules, some veterans jumped her, to be completely honest with you, or maybe some people's written scores were a little bit better, that she didn't quite get to the top. But our rules are, you'll remember 3 out of the 4 we did hire already are veterans, and that's our rules. But just because she ended up being 4, she probably had the best oral interview.
Okay.
I know we're not quite there yet, but I thought this commission should know that that's on the horizon for us to be coming before this board.
Is she Act 120 certified?
She's not Act 120.
So she would have to go to the academy.
That is correct. So one of the things that the chief is working on is, as a general rule, we hire when a person officially leaves. The next academy class is May 6th. So obviously that's 3 weeks before that other officer leaves. We've run into this recently, and council has worked with us maybe to appoint somebody a month early so that we get them started. If that wouldn't all come together between the commission doing their part and council, there is another class in June, July. But I can tell you right now that I'm confident and comfortable that we'll be able to get her in the May 6th Academy, assuming that the approval's made at all these different levels. The chief asked that I once again mention that he would like to come before this board, as he does almost every year, and talk about what happened statistically in 2023 and what his vision for the department moving forward is. And he still has every intention, or he will be here for the March meeting. And the last thing that I have is, if anybody in this room, if it's just gotten past them, we have a Facebook page, a Plymouth Township Police Facebook page. And we don't really update too often on criminal activity unless we think there's a public interest to it. But I think the community can see a lot of things that we're out there doing. Excuse me. So I'm just putting that out there that this board might be interested in visiting that from time to time. And that's what I have, unless somebody has a question, even though I'm choking. Excuse me.
Okay. Old business. I actually, to follow up with something that we talked about last meeting, the annual report. Do we have any information on how that's filed, who files it?
If you
Go ahead.
Okay.
It was really good.
my review, are you talking? Just so I'm clear, are you talking about the civil service annual report?
Yes.
Not the police department.
No, not
I
the
got you.
police department.
As I read the regulations, and I'm always feel free to be corrected, there was a date, I believe, in January of the next year that the solicitor was responsible for filing an annual report.
Okay.
It may be a little bit moot now, but that has been brought up, and people have been reminded of that in the past. But that report doesn't come to the police department. I believe it goes to the elected officials, the township manager and council. So I can't tell you if it happened or not in the past.
Okay.
I will let the commission know that I reached out to your solicitor. I'm just waiting for a response because I knew you were going to follow up. And I will, as soon as Rudolph Clark lets me know, we'll find out.
Any other old business? Anybody wants to?
I don't think so.
They put you up for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're good. We had that vote.
Okay.
Um,
I'm sorry, I have to apologize, I missed it. I'm suffering from chemo, and today was a brutal day,
Yeah.
so please forgive me.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very kind of you to be here.
Yeah.
You soldiered on.
Yeah. I missed it by a couple minutes, but
It's all
You
good,
did
Joe.
fine.
You can call in too if you want to.
Yeah.
nah,
We don't want to have you be compromised.
no, I'm not calling in.
All right.
Jeff told me I can't do that.
I'm not gonna put up with
Nobody listens to him. Why are you? Any new business? Any new business?
Madam Chair, I have the two issues.
Yeah.
The one that we talked about. Again, it is the commissioner's decision.
Oh.
Meeting start times. Historically, times were later in the evening. Year 6:30. A number of places are moving to 6 o'clock. It's your call. I will make myself available at whatever time, but I just thought it was something the commissioners might want to decide for 2024.
Does anybody have a particular feeling any way, whether we start at 6 p.m. or 6:30?
6 o'clock would be really difficult for me,
Okay.
Okay.
just with work and everything.
6:30 is fine. I can do either direction.
Yeah.
Okay. Dr. Jones?
6:30 is fine. I'm flexible with that, though.
Okay. All right. Given light that it could be a hardship for Commissioner Lukens, we'll just continue to
Keep
meet
it
at
as is?
6:30 and keep it as
No,
is.
no, it's all good.
How about Scott?
Scott will do whatever my commissioners want to do. That's the best part about being my job. The other thing I have for you is I have a draft of a letterhead. It's just it's a first pull. Another choice could be to use something like that and perhaps put your names on it as the commissioners. But I just throw it out there. Just
Oh, that looks nice.
was playing around just so we can have our own letterhead.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Dr. Jones, I'll send you a screenshot of the proposed letterhead.
Okay.
No?
Okay, good.
Township seal.
Yes.
Township seal. So I just put that together for us. We can deal with that.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Looks good.
That's all I have, Madam Chair.
Okay.
Thank
That's-
you.
That's the end of new business. Any public comment? Now is the time for public comment.
I see a smile over there.
No public comment?
Dr. Jones, do you have someone in the public with you?
Yes, she has no public
Oh.
comment.
man.
This is a
Damn.
first, but she has no public comment.
It's our big chance.
Closing comments. Just appreciate everybody's support. Like to continue on with the direction that we've taken in trying to continue to expand what we've done and help move the police department be more diverse and continue down that vein. I just look forward to, continuing that mission. Also, I know that in the past we have had instances where we didn't hold meetings because there wasn't any business. I am one that I always want to make sure that the public has the ability to come before this board, whether the police department wants to update us on anything or not. I expect that we'll continue to meet monthly unless there's something that prohibits us from doing that. Again, I think we answer and serve the public and we assist the police department in their mission, but I would like to make sure that if someone has something that they want to ask or say, that we give them that opportunity. I have nothing else. Anybody have anything
Just
else?
to clarify, in terms of the public questions, concerns of the police department, would this be the forum for it, or would it be the township meeting? Or both? Is there a preference in terms of the best way to go about it?
If I may, really, the answer is whatever they want.
Okay.
If they were pleased or displeased, and listen, almost every week somebody reaches out to us. The administration, sometimes they reach directly out to the police department. Matter of fact, one just happened today. The woman's complaint was fairly minor, but she was right. And imagine this crazy concept. We told her she was right and that we had messed up. But if they want to contact the police department, if they want to go to the council meeting, if they want to come to the civil service board, our policy is clear. We take all complaints from any source, including anonymous. Because some people don't even feel comfortable attaching their name to it. And even the fairly minor thing that happened today, we document the complaint, and we keep them all. And this was just an officer getting talked to, admitted that he made a minor mistake, and it was over that quick. But it's still, the complaint's documented, and our course of actions was documented. But we take all complaints regardless of, we don't judge a credibility of a complaint on its face. If that makes sense.
Thank you.
All right. Now that we've gotten closing comments done, I'm going to say closing arguments, closing comments done, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Move to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor to adjourn the meeting? Say aye. Anybody opposed? Nobody? All right, meeting adjourned.